Hey, what's up, guys? Joker here. Hope you all had a fantastic weekend. Today, we've got a couple of news stories in the world of tech and PC gaming. We're going to be primarily, though, talking about the RTX 3060 yet again, which we discussed a couple times last week because of the whole thing with them limiting the hash rate on the 3060 in order to prevent miners from getting these cards. And now, we're already actually seeing the RTX 3060 for sale on second-hand websites from people that got them from retailers and stuff ahead of time for mining purposes, but now are dumping them on to online websites and selling them for ridiculous amounts of money. And they've also been spotted at some American retailers actually selling for way above what the MSRP of $329 should be. So we'll talk about all of that stuff. And we've got the Diablo 2 Resurrected system requirements, which is the remaster / remake, I guess, of Diablo 2, which sounds pretty exciting. It looks very good. So let's get fired into the news. Did you just finish building a sweet gaming rig only to have this happen to you? Not to worry, because your CD Key has you covered with Windows 10 Pro licenses for under $18. And if you head over there right now, you could save 20% off with my code JPD20 at checkout. You'll receive your key within seconds, and then just click the start button and type activate to find the Windows activation screen, and all you gotta do then is paste your code in. For more info as well as that coupon code, be sure to check out the links down in the description below. We will start off by talking about the RTX 3060 and them being for sale on a second-hand website in Belarus, which is used very commonly by miners. And you're probably sitting there saying, like, Belarus, well, that just pretty much figures. So yeah, they have a website over there called, I think it's Onliner, is what it's labeled as here in Guru 3D. I'm not sure if that was like a typo or something, or if it's Onliner or something along those lines. Excuse me. But yeah, they were spotted over on there by videocards.com, where they were tipped off about it, and they posted about this ahead of Guru 3D, where a person named Artem was selling 3 RTX 3060 gigabyte Eagle cards, the Eagle OC card, I believe it is, selling them for 2,800 BYN, which is, I guess, Belarusian money, which is equivalent to 1,080 US dollars. That's right. This is ahead of time before the cards are coming out. It's supposed to be like around 329 to 400 for custom variants, looking to get 1,080 US dollars. And yes, the irony of that being 1080, like 1080p or a GTX 1080, is not lost upon me. Like that, I don't know if that was intentional or not on his part, or if it was just pure luck and a thing of beauty, honestly. But selling these things for 1,080 US dollars, absolutely ridiculous. As you can see the pictures here, some bigger shots of them. And you could see he posted them with the full label on the side of the packaging with the serial number and everything. So theoretically, NVIDIA, if they see this, which they probably already have at this point, should be able to take those serial numbers and then track down which retailers or e-tailers they were sent out to, who obviously let these cards go ahead of time to a miner, probably for a high price as well, and now they're being resold. So this retailer should be punished in some sort of way, I guess, by NVIDIA, probably by not being provided inventory ahead of launches or ever again directly in the future, which could certainly hurt them, as these are now out there on the web for sale, openly to anyone in Belarus that wants to buy one of these 3 RTX 3060 cards that are currently unreleased, at least for the next few days. They will be available, though, on February 25th, as I said, and they're already in, it looks like, some local retailers here in the United States. These are some leaked photos of the cards at a undisclosed retailer in the United States. So this is in the United States, but the person that posted these photos went very far out of their way to make sure that you couldn't find out exactly what store it was, probably so they don't get in trouble. Like that, the retailer that provided the cards to the guy in Belarus will get in trouble, but this person doesn't look like maybe NVIDIA can catch them or figure out who's posting this stuff ahead of time, and overcharging, it seems. Even at an American retailer, again, we don't know which one it is, but they're posting pictures of racks and racks of cards. I mean, it looks like they've got at least 30 to 50 cards or so in here, but they obviously went out of their way to blur out the background, to cover up all the logo labels and stuff like that, so you can't figure out which retailer it was from. But they've got tons of 3060 for sale, but really the story here is the price. As you can see, this one MSI RTX 3060, if you look on the label here, it's a little bit blurry, is selling for $515. So that's the most expensive card that they have in the lot, but there are other pictures as well, which I accidentally clicked off. There's a bunch of MSI Ventus 2X cards. Got a bunch of Zotac cards that nobody will want, Asus cards. I've always given shit to Zotac. But yeah, these cards are definitely selling above what MSRP realistically should be, selling actually for more than what a 3060 Ti even should sell for. The 3060 Tough is $490. We got $500 on another RTX 3060 Raj, another $500 card. $485 is the cheapest one. That's the MSI Ventus X2, and then the Gaming X Trio is the most expensive at $515. So, you know, it's not unheard of for there to be a little bit of a premium charge on, you know, aftermarket cards versus reference, even though there aren't any reference for the 3060 or Founders cards, I should say. There's a reference board design, which is provided to partners, which is probably what's in something like the Ventus, but there's no Founders Edition card directly from NVIDIA, so usually the aftermarket stuff will sell for a little bit more, and, you know, seeing cards up to like maybe $400 would be fairly reasonable if the base MSRP for a reference board would be $329. So going up to like $400, I think, is reasonable. But seeing these cards, you know, ahead of release, you know, these aren't being sold yet at these prices, but they're just getting them ready for release on the 25th. And on day one, they're going to be asking for around $500, which is way more than what any of these cards should be being charged for, honestly. So hopefully something happens with this retailer as well, but we don't know if it's a national chain. We don't know if it's a very small, you know, local brick and mortar, you know, electronics store, computer store, but they definitely have a lot of inventory. I mean, that's for a launch day. Like usually, I mean, we hear about, you know, some of these stores getting like maybe 2 cards in stock, but the 3060 here, it seems like there's quite a bit at this retailer. Looks like probably close, like I said, 30 to 50 cards might be in those racks there, but it's really hard to say for 100% certainty. But if that's a sign of things, then we should see a lot of 3060s on launch day. Hopefully, other retailers are selling them at what the MSRP realistically should be. So that's all we've got for today on the RTX 3060. But before we go, I'm going to quickly go over the Diablo 2 Resurrected system requirements, as I am looking forward to playing this. I never really played Diablo 2. You know, my friends had it and stuff like that. I think my dad played it, but I wasn't really into gaming on the PC at that time. I mostly just played on whatever console was around, probably the PS2 or something. So I played Diablo 3 though, and I really did love Diablo 3, and I know Diablo 2 is meant to be better than that. So I'm very much looking forward to seeing an updated version with improved graphics, you know, 4K support and all that, and I'm sure it's going to run really well, as the system requirements are quite modest here, although they're not really targeting the highest resolution or anything. But we can see here on the minimum requirements, they're saying a Core i3-3250 or an FX 4350, or on the GPU side, we've got the GTX 660 or the Radeon HD 7850. So some oldies but goodies for these minimum requirements: 8 gigabytes of RAM, 30 gigabytes of hard drive space, and for 720p. So yeah, this specs is basically, they have resolution listed here, which I've never really seen it put in the requirements like that. It's almost like saying that you're required to play at 720p. But realistically, I think what it means is that if you have a GTX 660 and an i3-3250, you should be targeting 720p. The recommended side of the requirements is targeting 1080p according to how it's listed here. Again, 30 gigabytes of storage, nothing there, but they are recommending 16 gigabytes of system memory, which is probably, I mean, it's pretty standard at this point, but I think you'd probably be okay with 8. But, you know, we'll see when it comes out, but I think 8 would probably even be fine. GTX 1060 or an RX 5500 XT, and then on the CPU, the Intel i5 9600K or the AMD Ryzen 5 2600 if you want to game on this at 1080p, which is quite modest, a 1060, let's be honest. So I'm pretty sure any sort of modern GPU, you know, like let's say 20 series or AMD equivalent and upward, probably going to be fine, way fine for this game for 1440 maxed out, and even probably 4K. I'm sure you won't need anything like an RTX 3080 for it, based on what they're telling us here, unless there's some sort of really big issues with the game. But, you know, I've got a 3080. I'm 100% confident that I'll be playing this game 4K maxed out at 120 frames per second, even with the graphical improvements that it's gotten since its original release like 20 years ago. But yeah, it looks good on the Resurrected remake. Let me know if you're looking forward to it down in the comments below, as I love looking through those and reading them and interacting with you guys down there. I'm going to go though. I've got nothing else for you today. Hope you enjoy the rest of your day, and I'll see you all tomorrow for another video. Ta-ra.